So there was a day back at Xerox, we used to talk about something which I think is actually as relevant today as it was back then. We used to talk about one face to the customer. We used to talk about one face to the customer because I believe this is the ultimate metaphor. See, Xerox was adamant at the time that if we're going to all see the customer, and by the way, we had lots of people who spoke to our customers because we had lots of products and services. We had copier people, we had fax people, we had products, we had support people. Our technicians were our best salespeople. By the way, those of you know this. Your technicians are your sales rock stars. And we used to say this all the time. We cannot go see a customer if we're not all on the same message, all on the same point. And back then, we had no technology to make this happen. So you know what we did? We actually had to stand around and, dare I say it, and talk to each other. It was shocking. We actually got to know each other. I know, doesn't happen. It's heresy today. So when we talk about one face to the customer, this is Todd's truth number one. Please write this down, or not write it down, or simply remember it, because when somebody asks you why, this is what I want you to go back and say to them. Regardless of where you sit in the organization, make no mistake about it. You are the chief sales officer. Nobody is exempt, because sales is about a mindset. And when we think that everything we do helps a customer say yes, knowledge, the knowledge that transparency gives us makes us more competitive. And you know what? It makes us more profitable. Guaranteed. Customers love it when you show up one face to the customer. Even if they're talking to 30 different people, those 30 different people better be on the same page. They gotta be. So we're going to elevate and change this conversation, friends, because I know you all go back and people go, why? Let me just go do my job. This is your job. The why is simple. We want to stay competitive we want to stay competitive. Because guess what? Your competitors, they're also doing this. And they're also building transparency. So here's something I want you to think about. I just said a moment ago, your technicians are really some of the greatest salespeople we have. Now, I'll argue all day long that really every single person in the organization is your greatest salesperson. I'll posit to the group. Who is the most important salesperson in your organization? And now some of you might say, well, our salespeople, our technicians, our finance people, I don't know, your warehouse, whomever. We're all going to have a different answer. Here's the unifying answer, and here's why transparency must and cannot be negotiable. Why our systems provide us that non-negotiable tool that in the customer's eyes make us memorable. Here's what it is. The best salesperson in your organization is the last person to interact with your customer. I want you to think about that for a second. Your customers call in every day. They call, they email, they text, they scream, they whine, they moan, they complain. Occasionally they compliment, whatever it is. And guess what? They hang up the phone, or I'm assuming people talking again. There I go getting crazy. When that connection point is over, and it could be with anybody in this room, it could be with your front desk too, it could be anybody. Because people remember the last person that they spoke to. And at that moment, that person better know the history of that organization. Because the velocity of business, as I've said, doesn't allow us not to. You see, people make decisions all kinds of ways. Now, you're all consumers. You all know this. We make decisions based on something called the recency principle. And the recency principle says something very simple. The very last person that you engaged with, the very last thing you heard, the very last thing you experienced is what you're most likely to remember.